everyone, welcome to our podcast Team 8 Excellent Insight with me Milya Dewi with last name 28. Today I'm not alone, I'm with my friend. Let's introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Aji Berjansa with last name 32. Okay Milya, what are we actually going to discuss today?
So today we are discuss something that is unique and has become a hot topic recently, Aji.
Wow, it's very exciting. What is that issue, Milya?
So after this we will dive into a threatening and interesting geological phenomenon, namely the megatrust. Are you curious about what exactly a megatrust is? How does it impact our life and the planet?
Of course, we're curious. But before that, we first invite our friend who are ready for us to ask their opinion about this interesting issue. And friend, get ready to explore the depth of the next natural disaster ever recorded and how we can prepare for it. So prepare your ears and mind for the in-depth discussion in this episode.
Hello podcast listener.
Hello guys!
Before we start our discussion, let me and my friends introduce ourselves. My name is Rifdana Salsabila with last name 25 and my friend.
My name is Florentina Willy with last name Sid.
Okay, hi Rifda, how are you?
Hi Milea, I'm very well today. I'm very excited and especially the discussion in the next few minutes is very interesting.
And how are you, Farah?
I am also very good today. Our topic today is definitely very exciting and increases our curiosity about the study of geography.
Wow, looks like it's going to be exciting. So can we start discuss today?
Yes, of course!
Question for Rifda. The re-emergence of the discussion about the potential earthquake in the megatrust zone had caused a public uproar because it is said that the earthquake will be paralyzed, but this has been denied by BMKG. So according to Rifda, okay, let's start with some basic definition first. Rifda, can you explain what a megatrust is and what makes it different from a regular earthquake?
Sure, megatrust is a type large earthquake that occurs in subduction zone, which are places where tectonic plates collide. In this zone, heavier or denser plates will slide under lighter plates in the Earth's mantle. This process produces enormous pressure that can accumulate over hundreds to thousands of years. When this pressure is released, it can trigger an earthquake with a very large magnitude, usually above 8 on the Richter scale.
Is it true megatrust earthquakes can be much bigger than the earthquakes we usually experience?
That's right. This megatrust earthquake can cause very strong and potentially damaging vibration on a much wider scale. What makes it more complex is the characteristic of this earthquake, which are usually accompanied by vertical shift of the sea floor, which in turn can trigger the tsunamis.
Then let's talk about Indonesian territory. Flora, what is the condition of the subduction zone in Indonesia? What are the megatrust zones in our country?
Indonesia has several very active megatrust zones. There are 30 points that have been marked by the BMKG as zones that have the potential for megathrust earthquake with shallow dips. From Aceh Andaman area with a potential earthquake magnitude of around 9.2 magnitude. Then in the area there are rocks with a magnitude of 7.8 and below. Next one, Mentawai Siberut. Then there is Mentawai Pagai with a potential earthquake of 8.9 magnitude, and then there is also. Then next on is Java. Then to Sumba to the North Sulawesi region of the upper part of the Philippines until on Papua with the range of the earthquake predicted of reach 8.7 magnitude. These zones are the place where the Indo-Australian plate meets the Eurasian and Pacific plates.
So Indonesia is really at the meeting point of several major tectonic plates, yes?
That's right. This makes Indonesia very vulnerable to large earthquake, including the megathrust earthquake. These zones are continuously active because the plates move at a speed of several centimeters per year. When the accumulated pressure reaches a certain point, a large earthquake will occur.
Megathrust is clearly a complex phenomenon. Rifda, can you explain further about the scientific technicality behind plate movement and how this megathrust earthquake occur?
Of course, we are talking about the interaction between two tectonic plates colliding with each another. Geologically, this process is called subduction, where one plate goes under another. The energy accumulation that occurs along these subduction boundaries can be enormous. However, it's not just about the accumulation of energy. There are also factors such as the angle of inclination of the plates, the speed at which the plates move, and the characteristic of the surrounding rocks that affect how and when the energy will be released in the form of an earthquake.
Were there any particular pattern or identifiable site prior megathrust earthquakes?
Unfortunately, until now we have not been able to predict earthquake with high accuracy. However, there are some patterns that we can observe, such as increased seismic activity in certain areas, deformation of the ground surface, and the release microenergy that may be indicative of a large earthquake. However, this is still in the research stage and the development of more sophisticated monitoring tools.
We've talked about potential dangers, but what about mitigation effort? What can we do to reduce the impact of this megathrust flora?
There are several mitigation steps we can take. The first, of course, is to understand which areas are at high risk of being hit by a megathrust earthquake. In addition, we need to improve the quality of buildings, especially in earthquake-prone areas, so that they are able to withstand large shocks. It is also important to build an effective tsunami early warning system, considering that megathrust earthquake often trigger tsunamis.
What about community readiness? Are there educational programs in place to raise awareness?
Of course, Public education is very important. The government, together with experts and related institutions, has carried out various outreach activities on how to deal with earthquakes and tsunamis. However, we still need to increase public awareness about the importance of having a quick evacuation and response plan when a disaster occurs.
Rifda, is there any new research on megatrust being done? Could it be shared to listeners?
Yes, one of them is research conducted to map the zone most at risk of a major earthquake in Indonesia. The research also used satellite and GPS data to monitor plate movement in real time. One important finding that part of the subduction zone around Sumatra and Java are showing signs of increased stress. Although exactly when a major earthquake will occur remains difficult to predict.
It is never working, but important to know, yes.
That's right. Awareness and preparedness are key to dealing with this potential megatrust.
Wow, today discussion really opened our minds about megatrust. There are many things we need to understand, especially for those of us who live in Indonesia, a country that is on the ring of fire.
Thank you very much for Rifda and Flora for this great explanation. Maybe in closing, any short message or tips from our speaker?
The most important thing is to stay alert and don't panic. Learn natural signs, always have an evacuation plan ready, and follow information from authorities.
And last but not least, let's support research efforts and more advanced monitoring technologies, because with a better understanding, we can reduce the risk of future disaster.
Thank you again, and to listeners, stay alert and always find out the latest information about seismic condition around you. See you in the next episode.
Stay alert, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of nature. Thank you and see you. Team 8
Excellent insight!